When Samsung announced the Galaxy Fold back in the year of 2019, we joked around, and in our review we also said that it would be perfect if that device actually had S Pen support. So instead of having the stylus hidden in this area here, it would be nice if the whole pen could just hide inside the hinge area. That would be perfect, right? Well, fast forward to today, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3 is here. Well, most of our wishes did come true. It did get S Pen support. The pen did hide around the hinge area, but it's not inside the hinge, but I'm okay with that. So in today's video, I'm just gonna go through some of my user experience with you while using the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold3 with this S Pen Fold Edition. Okay, so before we begin, I need to go through with you that I actually bought this official accessory from Samsung. So this is a 2-in-1 accessory, so we'll be breaking this review into 2 different segments. So we'll start off with the unboxing. First thing that we need to do is to rip the packaging apart, which reveals the S Pen Fold Edition, some extra nibs for us to change if the default nib ever wears out, some documentation, and also the flip case. So we'll start off by talking about the S Pen alone. I mean, this is literally a dream come true for me since I can unfold the device, draw on a much bigger screen by let me just try something, right? I can do this and then start drawing. Hello is here. I'm just gonna delete this and then write Z Fold3. Yay, my writing is not the best, but you get the idea. And the S Pen's design also plays a big role in terms of the experience while drawing too. So what I mean is this, I have 3 different S Pens here, and the S Pen Fold Edition is much more similar to the Galaxy Tab series of S Pen's design, whereby it's a bit thicker in terms of its body so you can have a nice grip, and yeah, I mean it's just a lot more comfortable to write with or draw with as compared to the Note series or the currently S series of S Pens, which is much skinnier and more twig-like. So I just prefer this kind of thicker S Pens compared to the skinnier ones. And the S Pen Fold Edition, like any other S Pens, it still has a single button at the side, which means you can use all of the S Pen features just like on many other Samsung devices. But the S Pen Fold Edition is a passive stylus, so there's no Magic Wand feature like the Galaxy Note 9, Note 10 and also Note 20 series of smartphones. But I'm fine with that. The software part is also identical for the Galaxy Z Fold3. Air Command, which is one of my favorite utility when it comes to stylus shortcuts, is also present here. And honestly speaking, it still feels kind of surreal to be able to use a pen on the Galaxy Z Fold3 because you see, Samsung published a video detailing how they developed the S Pen Fold Edition, starting with the screen's digitizer. If I didn't watch that video, I wouldn't have known that this screen actually has 2 digitizers, one for the left side of the screen, one for the right side of the screen. And this middle part here is actually disconnected. So what Samsung did is to develop some kind of magical software to patch up both of them if you draw across the crease, which I think is amazing because at first I didn't know that this was the case, and yeah, it just felt so natural to the point where I don't realize that there is a gap in terms of its digitizer in the center. I passed this device to my brother and he too did not realize that it's actually using software to patch things up in the middle of the crease. Samsung also said that the S Pen Fold Edition has an internal spring so that it retracts in when you push it against the Z Fold3 screen. That is something that I didn't realize too because the retraction, yeah, I really didn't feel any retraction at all. So it just feels very natural to write on the Z Fold3 screen. It just feels like I'm writing on like any other devices out there. These are all technicalities that make the engineer in me go a bit wild, but I'm also impressed that as an end user, I don't feel any of these intricacies hindering my experience while using the S Pen with the Galaxy Z Fold3. it just feels like any other devices that supports the S Pen, which again is impressive. I mean, let's just do a quick comparison here. I got the Samsung Galaxy Tab S7 FE with me here. This tablet also comes with an S Pen and we are writing on a hard piece of glass screen, just like any other Samsung devices in the past. It feels good to write on and we all know that. And then for the Galaxy Z Fold 3, because the inner display is not a hard piece of glass, and since it needs to fold after all, it kind of feels similar. In some ways, I think that the new PET screen protector material kinda decreases the friction between the S Pen and the screen, which makes this pen glides even easier than any other Samsung devices with S Pen support that I've tried in the past. Now, I do have to admit, writing or drawing across the crease still feels a bit weird because, as you can see now, whenever I kinda draw or write a bit faster across the crease, I do get a bit of lift-off distance from the screen, hence it kinda breaks my line. But eventually, if I slow down a bit and start to adapt to this little crease here, yeah, it works amazingly well. And like what we mentioned when we talked about game emulation on the Galaxy Z Fold 3, the S Pen makes it feel like a Nintendo DS Pro, something like that. And I enjoy playing Cooking Mama on this device, and that game requires a lot of intense tapping and scrubbing with the S Pen, and yet the screen still looks amazing. So, it's durable for sure. With that said, this set here, the Galaxy Z Fold 3 with the S Pen Fold Edition, is not compatible with any other Samsung devices, and the S Pens of other devices is also not compatible with the Galaxy Z Fold 3. So this combo is essentially in its own bubble. While I can understand why that is the case, it still feels like it's a slippery slope down the one new variation of S Pen per device territory. Hopefully that's not the case. And also, as a quick mention, this S Pen does not work with the cover display, so yeah. And if you already have the Galaxy Z Fold 3 and you want to buy the S Pen Fold Edition alone, you can. This pen only costs 199 ringgit or $50 if you buy it a la carte, and I think that's a fair price to pay. But this Galaxy Z Fold 3's flip cover with the S Pen holder though, well, I wouldn't say this is a completely bad case, but it could have been so much better. Now, let me explain to you why. When the Galaxy Z Fold 3 was launched back in August, I saw this flip case and I instantly knew that I wouldn't actually like this case because of this front flap here. One of the images also showed us this exact scenario whereby once you use the phone like this, the front flap protrudes out on this left side here. And I mean, Reddit seems to agree with me too, because they have resulted into more extreme solutions by literally chopping off the front flap. But that also leaves the S Pen part here kinda flop around, so yeah, I'm not gonna cut it apart. And oh, while we are talking about this dangly front flap, you see this? We can just unflip this cover here and then the screen wakes up. Well, that is also a problem because of how dangly this phone case is. Yeah, the front flap will just slightly do a little peekaboo and then you can see the screen actually lights up, and then that actually wastes a lot of battery, especially when this entire phone plus the case is in my pocket. Yeah, a slight bit of movement will cause this front flap to slide in a bit and then the screen turns on, which again is not ideal. But I think Samsung knows that we are actually complaining about this, so in the latest software update for the Galaxy Z Fold 3, it gave us an option to disable this little peekaboo feature. And the biggest problem for me about this case is that I'm a left-handed smartphone user, and using the cover display with my left hand alone is frustrating because, okay, let me show you why. You see this flip cover here? If I unflip it and then it goes to the back, how am I supposed to use the phone now? It's like double the thickness of the phone. and the Galaxy Z Fold 3 is already thick, plus this flappy thing here, it's literally even thicker to the point where it's like quadruple the typical phone's thickness. No. And also there's a small little lip that juts out on the fingerprint scanner here, so it kinda obstructs my finger from scanning. Yeah. But eventually I adapted to this case because this front flap here, even though it's protruding, I just find myself putting my left thumb on the front cover here and then gripping the S Pen holder at the back. So it kind of provides me a way to grab this device when it's unfolded. And after spending about 2 weeks with this case, I do kind of have a love-hate relationship with this case. So for example, if I just leave it on the table like this, I can quickly unflip it and then look at it for a while for my face unlock to work, and then I can access everything that I need to. That is really convenient. I bought this bundle even though I kinda know that I actually wouldn't use this case at all, but I still need something to hold the S Pen while other third-party case manufacturers come up with their own case designs with the S Pen holder. And speaking of the S Pen holder, did you know that you can actually just push out the entire S Pen holder? So yeah, there's a track here that you can slide it in if you want to, but you can also take it out if you don't like this S Pen on the case. And I think I don't need to stick with this case for much longer because I also bought the Arari Nukin 360p with the hinge cover and also the S Pen holder interchangeable thing, which, yeah, a review of that case will also come when I actually get that case in my hands. So stay subscribed for that, and that's all I have to share with you about this. What was the name again? The flip cover with pen for the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3 5G. That's a mouthful of a name, and this case, I can't really recommend it if you are a left-handed user like me, but it might suit some users, just not me. So yeah, the S Pen is great though, just the case is, yeah, the case could have been better. And that's it, that's all we have to share with you about this bundle, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.